Backlash is behind us, and overall, the biggest star coming out of Backlash, the biggest star coming out of that entire pay-per-view event was the very hot crowd in San Juan, Puerto Rico. They frickin' killed it for that show. Because the way the show was just featured. First and foremost, you had a WWE pay-per-view back in Puerto Rico for the first time in over 18 years. That got the crowd on their feet. And on top of that, we already saw a little bit taste of that on SmackDown the night before. But the ovation that they gave to Selena Vega got emotional. I love that part about it. Then you had the Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest San Juan street fight. The crowd went absolutely crazy for that. They practically turned a WWE show into a full-on concert when Bad Bunny's music hit. And I'll talk about the match later, but I'm just touching upon the crowd right now. And then just when you thought, well, they just had the San Juan street fight, they were into every single move of that match. The crowd's going to be tired for the upcoming match, and we need them to rise up and really recover their energy. So we're going to put this 6-man tag team match in the middle, in between the main event, between Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar, and then the crowd will be able to simmer down, get their energy back up and running, and then they'll be set and ready for the actual main event of the show. Well, here's the thing. That wasn't the case. They did not need that because the crowd was hot as hell for the 6-man tag. It was hot as hell for the main event. So just based on that, ladies and gentlemen, Puerto Rico just showed up and they showed out at Backlash. To me, that's the breakout star of the WWE pay-per-view this past Saturday night in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Now, touching upon the results of this entire pay-per-view, the premium live event, we opened up with a singles match for the Raw Women's Championship, where the crowd was firmly behind Io Sky against the EST of WWE, the current Raw Women's Champion, who was getting booed by a WWE crowd, the fan favorite in Bianca Belair. Ultimately, she retained. Ultimately, she is inching closer to Trish Stratus' championship reign. WWE is touting her now as the longest reigning women's champion in the modern era. There's been a lot of reports out there saying that WWE is trying to modernize their records, so they're just looking to get as many records done as possible in the very near future. But ultimately, like I said on the preview, Io Sky's character wasn't really ready to become Raw Women's Champion. She wasn't really ready to beat Bianca Belair. Now, her efforts, her talent in the ring, that's never been in question. I don't think that'll ever be in question because she put on the best match that we have seen from Io Sky on the main roster since she got called up. But ultimately, this match is leading to the dissolution, the dissolvement, the implosion of Damage Control. That's where this is leading towards. And hopefully, once that happens, both Dakota Kai and Io Sky come out, their characters come out in a better way to challenge for a future main event spot on Raw or SmackDown. But overall, great match by the two ladies. Again, WWE has to keep working on the story beats for the women's division. Seth frickin' Rollins defeated Omos by pinfall after a super stomp. And a lot of the IWC keeps coming out and they keep saying that they're not interested in a lot of Omos matches. They hated upon his match with Brock Lesnar before the match even took place. They did the exact same thing here with Seth frickin' Rollins. Now, I called them out on the fact that there was no story leading up to this match. No real story behind it. No real reason behind it. But as it is the case, WWE tends to surprise us, and this match was pretty entertaining. And Omos keeps proving that every single time he's out there, he learns. He learns a little bit. He's still a little bit green. I recognize that. He's still a little bit green. But overall, he keeps working with these top stars. The fans are taking notice, and hopefully he gets a little bit better. He keeps improving. Austin Theory defeated Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed in a triple threat match for the United States Championship. I think it's a perfect way to bookend all of this. I think Theory has a much better chance of just moving on to other challengers for his United States Championship. Lashley should be looking towards Roman Reigns. I've talked about this in the past. And Bronson Reed should be right behind him. Not looking towards Roman Reigns, but rather just causing some distraction, DQ when it comes to those involvement between the Tribal Chief and the Almighty. Just keep Lashley and Bronson Reed together. Move Theory in a United States Championship feud later on in his career. I don't know, LA Knight, turn him into a babyface. The crowd wants that. I don't know. Could happen. We got Rhea Ripley, Mommy, defeating Zelina Vega for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And like I said, the ovation that Zelina Vega got almost brought tears to my eyes. Her entire attire, everything. She was engulfed in the Puerto Rican colors and the Puerto Rican flag, what she represented for her home country of Puerto Rico against Rhea Ripley. And ultimately she did fall. She did lose this match, much like she was supposed to. Because you can't really hurt Rhea Ripley's character today, not even for that kind of a big pop that Zelina Vega got. But, again, hopefully this leads to a bigger story for Zelina Vega down the line. It has to. It has to. You can't showcase her the way that you did in Puerto Rico. Give us all those visuals, that reception that she got, and then just put her back on the shelf in the back, literally in the back of the LWO, and not put the spotlight on her. So, like I said, just build these characters up, create stories for them, make them look stronger heading into these matches, because it was pretty easy to predict that Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley were going to retain the championships, not because that they're more talented than Io Sky or Zelina Vega. It's just the story wasn't there for a title change. As simple as that. San Juan Street Fight. Bad Bunny defeated Damian Priest. That caught me off guard. It caught me by surprise in the best way possible, because I did not think that they would have Damian Priest lose to Bad Bunny, even if it was a street fight, even if it was in Puerto Rico. Damian Priest is the Punisher of the Judgment Day. He does what he wants. He punishes people to the point that they cannot get back up. But, with that said, the mystique of Puerto Rico, the mystique of Bad Bunny himself, there's an argument to be made. That won the match for Bad Bunny. Not so much the fact that he's better than Damian Priest. For all we know, if this match had taken place in Chicago or in LA or in Boston or in New York, Damian Priest would have come out, done little to no work, and just gotten rid of Bad Bunny like that. But I will say this, and I've said this in the past, Bad Bunny is one of the best celebrity stars to ever step foot into a WWE ring. Because he goes for it on the mic. He goes for it in the ring. This street fight proved it. He takes bumps. He takes risks. And he understands a crowd like no one else. And obviously, because he's a performer. But there's those little nuances that you get when you're a WWE superstar, where you make the crowd wait, you let them sink in to whatever's going on, and Bad Bunny gets that. And Damian Priest, Backlash 2023 was his WrestleMania. He went out there, he put on one hell of a match with a celebrity star like Bad Bunny, who's not really experienced, who can show up. But Damian Priest had to carry that match, of course. And on top of that, he had to protect one of the most popular, important guys in pop culture today in Bad Bunny. And he did that to the fullest of his potential. And frankly, like I've said in the past, Damian Priest is a future main eventer for WWE. This match proved it. He proved it 2 years ago at WrestleMania when he tag teamed with Bad Bunny and was able to protect him and carry him during that match. He proved it this past Saturday night at Backlash as well. So good for that. And then Savio Vega coming out. Carlito just came out of nowhere, man. I heard his music. I went crazy. And the biggest pop for me in this entire overbooked segment of the match was him spitting in the face of Dominic Mysterio. Because, of course, he's not cool. He's not cool. Sorry, that's a terrible accent. But, obviously, just Savio Vega, Carlito, Rey Mysterio, everybody coming out to help out. The Puerto Rican crowd went crazy. They went nuts for it. And I absolutely loved it because those are the moments you live for as a WWE fan. You want to feel that excitement. So with that said, it could have main evented the actual pay-per-view. It could have main evented the actual pay-per-view. I would not have minded if it had been the main event of Backlash. But we still have 2 more matches to go. 6-man tag team match. The Bloodline defeated Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn in a 6-man tag. Nothing too much to talk about there. Really, what's coming out of this is the fact that Solo Sikoa just started going berserk. And by that, I mean he almost Samoan spiked his own brother, Jey Uso, at one point in the match. The Bloodline won the match thanks to Solo Sikoa, and then the Usos were celebrating. Solo was still pretty aggressively looking at both of his twin brothers. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Matt Riddle. Okay, you're done. Get out of this rivalry. Get out of this feud. You've already fulfilled everything we need from you when it comes to the Bloodline. Now it's time for us to focus on themselves. And what I saw at Backlash was the fact that Roman Reigns guilted Solo Sikoa into being fully responsible for his brothers, the Usos, in the Bloodline. I think that's what we saw this past Saturday night at Backlash. Solo Sikoa is so zoned in to the fact that he has to get the win. He has to get rid of this KO problem, and Sami problem, and the Riddle. He has to get rid of all of that for the Bloodline, for Roman Reigns, for the Tribal Chief. And for the Usos as well, because otherwise Reigns is going to kick the Usos out of the Bloodline. And that is something that Solo Sikoa does not want, but he also does not want to step up to the Tribal Chief just yet. He's not to that point just yet, but we will build up to that point later on in the year. But for the time being, one of the major story points heading into this Friday night SmackDown is Roman Reigns comes back, and the Usos have something really, really big to question Solo Sikoa about. I equate this a little bit to, evolution. Paul Heyman is Ric Flair. Roman Reigns is Triple H. Solo Sikoa is Batista. And the Usos, they're Randy Orton. I'm just going to throw that out there. But ultimately, like I said, the Bloodline storyline needs to evolve into a fully family affair, rather. Just have them go back and forth between themselves, and then ultimately Roman Reigns just focus on his Universal Championship challengers. And then we got the main event, Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. Short match, nothing to be expected, nothing that we didn't expect it. Brock Lesnar got busted open for real, it seemed, which was jarring to see on WWE television, but ultimately Cody Rhodes got the win. He needed to win. If he didn't, I don't know what WWE was gonna do with the American Nightmare going forward. Because it's one thing losing to Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania for the WWE Championship by a lot of interference from the Bloodline. But it's another thing to do that and then lose to Brock Lesnar at Backlash again. Again, losing to Brock Lesnar, it's no big deal. But to have those consecutive losses, it would have hurt the American Nightmare character so very much. And all I'm going to say is, this feud, this rivalry, Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar, is far from over. It's going to continue at Night of Champions. I'm sure of it. The fact that Cody Rhodes is a part of the 12-man tournament for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship tonight on Raw makes no difference to me. Brock Lesnar is going to come out and he's going to take Cody Rhodes out simply because he's a beast incarnate and simply because he's not in the tournament himself, which ultimately insults Lesnar as well. So with that said, I can't wait to see what goes down tonight on Monday Night Raw. We've got 2 triple threat matches. The winners of those matches face off in the main event. And the winner of that match goes on to Night of Champions to challenge for the brand new WWE World Heavyweight Championship. We'll just have to wait and see who on Monday Night Raw comes out with the victory. So with that said, what do you think about Backlash? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? What do you think about the crowd? What do you think about the results that transpired in San Juan, Puerto Rico? I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.